Right, guys, we've got some concept art to run over. It's not really new. It's been up on the website since the game was announced. But I decided to download everything that was available to run through just on a video to show you some stuff. Obviously, I don't know any more than what like the initial description is of each picture. But I thought just because we're trying to cover as much stuff as we can, it'd be worth downloading them all and running through. Obviously, I've downloaded them because it's available to download. Every single one of them's like designed as a HD desktop, so get them downloaded, stick them on, and it's really good. Like for I've put one on mine. I use it on a 22-inch monitor. Details brilliant. Obviously, yeah, this is the concept art from Bungie's new game Destiny, and I apologise if I get anything pronounced wrong or anything, but we haven't heard how people are pronouncing stuff, but it's I said we just have to go with the flow at the moment. So this one, let me just get the info for this, is Cassini Derelict, which we've had a couple of references of planets that we know of. So we've had Venus, we've had Mars. I'd like to think that that's Saturn. And it looks like obviously something's going on. Obviously with that spaceship, to me, it looks like it's falling. It looks like it's either come through those rings, or there's some asteroids or something, or it's been shot at. But I mean, even with the word derelict in it, something good's not really going on with it, is it? So we've got the next picture, which is titled Citadel, which obviously there does look like a massive citadel. Obviously there, a bit of a battle going on. In the foreground we've got these two guys. These guys in the middle I think are called hexes. I've got a picture of them later on I think, but I'm pretty certain. Right, Vex, V-E-X. Those guys in the middle with that weird shaped head. But obviously you've got quite a setup with this. We've got the plant life, vegetation. I don't think it's any clues about this living world which they've been on about. This just looks like normal game stuff to me. Your next picture is entitled Dark Patrol, which this is a clear shot here of what I was going on about with the sniper rifles. I know sniper rifles don't really change that much anyway, but that to me looks like the familiar sniper rifle from Halo. You've got obviously this guy's wearing a different sort of mask here to start off with. And then if you look into the background, you've got these much bigger guys. There's a lot of green lights in their eyes and stuff. Obviously, I mean, what's it entitled again? Dark Patrol. So it's obviously some sort of unit. But you can see there's two of these smaller guys with the green eyes, and there's at least three of those bigger ones. I mean, you can see from right off the start this sniper rifle guy right up in the front. Then look at the big guys in the back. If you just look underneath the head of the other guy, you can see his hand. So that's a massive unit. That. Next picture is entitled Exclusion Zone. So, and again, just the scale of what they're showing on some of these things. All the buildings like that do remind me very much of what Bungie do. I don't want to keep referring back to Halo, but they've obviously got over 10 years worth of information and knowledge of what they've been building and that type of thing. But it's just the sheer grand scale of what this is. This just looks like a wall, a unit that's splitting something apart here. You can see a building in the background, which is either being constructed or it's some part of framework for something. But if you look in the bottom right hand corner, you've got these tiny little people. So it just goes to show the type of scale. These flags which are hanging down, there's not really been any references at all in any of the pictures of any type of like identification of any type of race within the game. So I think that that's really something to have a look at. Looking down these pieces of art, you can see the same thing looks to be displayed. They obviously fade out a little bit, but I think that this was one of the only pictures that I could find any reference to a race. So next one's entitled Fallen, which you've got some sort of tank. Obviously you want to say tank with a turret which is going on there. However, I kind of get a feeling that that's alive. Some sort of mammoth made it, maybe. It tends to look like some sort of leg at the front of that. We've got the two guys on the left hand side, and in the middle of that there's some sort of orb. Yeah, I've actually got on this guy on the right hand side, there is a slight reference to a symbol on his shoulder, which is like the Destiny logo. So that Y shape. There's nothing on that vehicle or unit, you know, for it. There's no symbols on that. Obviously that's kind of like a snowy frosted land. But that orb, I've seen a thing later on which I'll go through, which indicates some sort of orb with at least one of the units. This one's called Fireteam. These guys in the very background, I'll go with those. They kind of look Vex, but they haven't got the same shaped head, so there's something different with it. The guy in the middle looks like the guy which was the one that had the sniper rifle earlier on, that type of setup. And you've got another guy on the left. What you will notice though is that they have got different types of helmets on pretty much everything. So I think that that's going to be a dead cert for something that's customizable. These guys in the background that look like the enemies, they're massive. They are absolutely massive. Not the ones in the fire. If you look in the middle of the two on the left, and then over on the very far right hand side, there's another big guy over there, with a few smaller guys with those triple eyes, possibly, that are in the middle. Next picture, this one's just entitled Garden. There's not much which you can go into about this. Obviously there's a massive trench, which if you stop and look at the photo for a bit longer, you can see, if you follow the trench down, you can see a break to the right hand side, then you can see a tiny little island, and then you can see that break off into other areas, and then when you look left you can see a break just after that. Look over to the left of the picture and there's more breaks, and you can kind of see, working the way through it, that there's actually a passageway, you know, there's a full section there, which obviously there's going to be something down there. Obviously very green, lots of vegetation, and obviously the massive rock in the middle. Seems to be, I don't know if it's a light source on the very back right hand side. It looks like a small, tiny little building. But we'll have to see some more on that. I think obviously the emphasis is this gorge, which is in the middle, which is just immediately just looks like it's a gorge. But as I said, it does map out to the left and the right hand side. So it'll be interesting to see what that area of the game's like. His next picture is called Ghost Town, which obviously you can see a character right up at the beginning to start off with. Just at the foreground, you've got some sort of waterfall, possibly a dam behind that. You have got a river to the left of the building. Straight down the middle you can see some sort of river coming down the mountain. But obviously the building's completely destroyed. I can't actually... Right, it's HHHATYP, which is on that. Just trying to have a read what's above the door. So HHATYP. I don't think that there's any more writing. Again, vegetation. Those stairs are pretty mossed, so It is a ghost town. There's lots of things abandoned. Bit of wildlife showing, obviously with the birds up at the top. We'll move on to the next picture, which is called Hellmouth. Which again, I mean, your eyes immediately move into that central hole. Obviously, it is called Hellmouth, so we're not going to be expecting good things at the bottom of that, are we? But if you look slightly to the left-hand side, you can see some structures and some walls. But then if you look right at the foreground, there's almost like a small village, which is based on that area. So you can see the size of some of the buildings, some of the walls which are there. And then obviously if you take that and then put it into the scale of how big that hole is, that's absolutely monstrous. So again, it's this whole, you know, it's just sheer scale of what the world is, you know, like for it. And this might just be concept art, and it might just all be backgrounds and story modes. But if for any reason that size of playing field is available, then you know, sign me up right now. So we'll move on to the next picture, which is called Mars. So we've got that official reference to Mars. Which, you know, there's always, I mean, I don't want to go into it and just speculate from other stuff, but to me that looks like some sort of mine. You know, there's always been references with Mars and mining minerals from it, and it looks like these guys have gone into that type of thing. You've got what looks like belts on the left hand side, you've got the usual dome, but you've got some sort of broken building on the right hand side, which looks like it's got some roots of some sort growing on it actually. Yeah, there's like trees in there. Building on the left hand side, a couple of flags on it. Not much, there's certainly no writing or, again, no symbols anywhere. The next picture is called Ocean of Storms. Now again, you can see your buildings that are obviously located in just the sheer scale of what they're working with here. I don't know if that's Earth in the background. It doesn't really look like Earth, but it could just be clouds, cloud coverage. If that's Earth, then that's the moon, you know, that we're dealing with something on. Obviously you've got this the sheer size and scale of that. There's not really that much to say about that picture. Obviously you've got your unit, well, your building, you know, some sort of building on the right hand side, which to me would be some sort of power station for it, but you've got some debris floating off the top, big cliffs, as I said, the planet in the background, with potentially Saturn, definitely Mars, definitely Venus, mentioned already. That could be Earth in the background. This one's called Pike, which is looks fun. And with this, again, I'll have another look over it now with everyone. But I can't really see any type of symbols. There's nothing on him. There's nothing on the actual equipment. Now, one thing that I'm going to point out is that there's one in the background, and that's quite high up, and this one looks like it's actually beginning to crash. If you look at all the sand dust that it's dragging up behind, whereas the other one's clearly in the air, this one's pointing down, looking like it's going down, and that front fin looks like it's been dragged through the sand, so it's either hovering just above ground, or that's just about to crash. Now, the next picture is called Traveller's Rest. Now, this is the one that I'm absolutely fascinated with, and I've chosen this one as my desktop background at the moment. There was something said, I think, in that video, that it sits silently waiting at the moment, so it doesn't move. It is hovering, you know, for it. There is something, there is a split from what I can gather, and it's just sat silently waiting. What it's waiting for will is it? Well, we'll have to wait. You know, it's obvious something's going to happen with it. It's too obvious, that type of thing. But as I said, it's just the scope of the actual sphere looks absolutely brilliant. Right, these guys that I was on about earlier on, Vex. No information on these. Actually, he's actually got a weapon in his right hand arm. The other guys have got some weapons in the background that look different to that one as well, so we'll have to have a look into that. I was just trying to see. No, there's no symbols on these guys at all. They look quite different. Now, in your last picture is entitled Guardians. So that middle picture, immediately, you've got that sphere. It looks like it's following him. So it does look like that there's something there, which you may have that helps you when you're fighting. One on the left hand side. To me, see, I think that looks female, in my opinion. Definitely male in the middle and on the right hand side, but I do think that looks quite female. Obviously the helmets, again, they all look completely different. But the one on the right hand side is very, very Spartan-y. And there is actually a symbol on his left shoulder. But the legs, the knees and the thighs, that chest plate, if you were to take a Spartan helmet, just a standard Spartan helmet, and stick that on top of that, then you know, immediately, you know, that'd settle into the Halo world. I want this to be Destiny. I want it to be completely different. That's without a shadow of a doubt. But when you're looking at that type of stuff, you could very easily just look at that as a character and think Halo. The one in the middle, yeah, looks like a mean piece of work, to be honest. But yeah, it's great to see 3 different styles of characters. Now, we know in the video we were referred to as Guardians and Protectors. Yeah, I know if you've ever been glitching on the old Halo games, you would have been killed by the Guardians many times. So it's interesting to see that they're using a name that a lot of Halo players will be very familiar with over the years as your character. So, you know, and as I said, I hope that it is its own separate game and that nothing at all is linked with it. But are we going to get some sort of, you know, references to some stuff which has previously been done? Any little Easter eggs and stuff that's in there? So as I said, I just wanted to run over these things with you and see what everybody else thinks about some of the stuff, some of the artwork which is out. And if you enjoyed, obviously, seeing the pictures, or you're enjoying what we're doing, you know, like the first video, we've had absolutely loads of hits on that, and we're really chuffed with that. Second video is beginning to pick up now, and obviously this is the 3rd video that we've done. So if you did enjoy it, let us know. Leave us a comment, give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. As soon as something else comes out, we'll get straight onto it, and we'll get it released for you, so that we can all keep up to date with what's going on. So, thanks a lot for viewing and tuning in.